In this video, I'm going to show you how you can take the data from a worksheet and convert it to a table. And once you do convert your data to a table, then you can manipulate the information by sorting, grouping, creating pivot tables. So what we have in front of you right now, or what I have in front of me, is a worksheet. And this worksheet contains a list of artists, art ID, the title, the date that the art was acquired, the category that the item is in, the condition, where it's located in the museum, and the appraised value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select cell A2. I'm going to go to the Insert tab, and from Insert, Table. And what you'll notice are two things. You'll notice that the outline of the data is in a Marquise outline, and the Create Table dialog box is displayed. Where the data for your table, this is actually identifying the very first row that contains what we call the header, and then down below it says my table has a header. Now if I turn that off, what happens is it doesn't identify row 1 as a header. And what a header really is, it's just identifying what the information underneath represents, such as the art ID, the artist, the title. No different than any database. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And once you click OK, two things are going to happen. One, each of your fields in your header row will contain the little drop arrow, and this is for sorting. And also what happens is you'll have a table tools. And on the table tools, you'll have a special tab called Design. And this is where you can give your table a name. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and give this table a name, and I'll just call it Art Collection. And then you have various tasks that you can perform. And then over here underneath Table Style Options, you would identify your header row, but if you turn that off, it removes the header row. So you'll probably want to keep that on. Bandit rows just removes every other shading of the row. You can band the first column. You can even include a total row. Then to the right you have table styles, and this is where you can choose a design. I'm going to go ahead and choose the medium style form. And this is pretty much a table at this point. So the reason you would want to do a table mainly would be for sorting and for extracting information that you're looking for. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of sorting, then we'll go ahead and pull out some of the records in this table. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to sort by the category. So in the category field, I'm going to go ahead and go to the arrow down and choose Sort A to Z. And you can see that sorting A to Z. Okay. Now you can also go to the Data tab, and on the Data tab you can choose the Sort button and do the same thing. But when you do the Sort button, what you're going to get is a Sort dialog box where you can sort by certain fields, and you'll see them listed in the Sort By drop-down list. You can also sort on certain things, not just the content, but the cell color if you did conditional testing, or the font color. And you can reverse the order of sort as well, or create a custom order. So what we're going to do here is we've already sorted by category, and next what we're going to do is we're going to sort by the appraised value. So if you want to do sorting within a category, within an already sorted list of records, this is when you would want to come to the Sort button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Add a Level, because not only do I want to sort by the category, but within each category I want to sort by the appraised value. And the sort on will be on the value itself from smallest to largest. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So you can see that our first set of records, let me get rid of that. Our first set of records here, we have the installation, and it's sorted by the appraised value. So we have sorted by category, and then within each category, appraised value. So anytime you want to do multiple sorts, which means you're not only sorting by one field, but within that field another field, that's when you're going to have to use the Sort button. Alright, so that's how you do sorting. So it's pretty simple. And then you can go ahead and insert rows and put your headings in and so on. Now something else that you might want to do, you might want to go ahead and do some grouping. And maybe what we'd like to do is not only sort by the category, but maybe we'd like to have what's the total of the appraised value of all of the artwork in a specific category. And at this point, this is where we're going to do some subtotaling here. So what we need to do is we need to go back to the Design tab, and we actually need to convert our range or convert our table to a range. So anytime you want to start doing the subtotals and grouping, the first thing you want to do is obviously identify your information as a table and then do your sorting within each of the fields. Then the second thing you need to do is you need to click on Convert to Range. And then it's going to ask, do you want to convert the table to a range? And we're going to go ahead and say yes. And at that point, you've removed the filter buttons, but we've already done the sorting. Remember, we sorted by the category, and then within the category, the appraised value. So now we're going to go to the Data tab, and from the Data tab, we're going to go ahead and click on Subtotal, and then you'll get the Subtotal dialog box. Now at this point, this is where you can take that data and identify where you want to have a subtotal. So we're going to have a subtotal at the, let's see, I think this field is the category. And so where the category changes, we want to do a sum function on the appraised value. So that's how you read this dialog box. You have to identify which field you want to do the subtotal, and that's usually going to be where it changes to a different piece of information. Then the function that you want to perform, and then the third part would be the field that contains the values that you're wanting to do a subtotal. So if you had already done this once before, you would have replaced current subtotals turned on, but we're going to turn ours off. And then the last thing you can do is you can have a grand total, and that's what the summary below data is. So we're going to go ahead and click OK. And now you can see that it actually at the end of the last piece of artwork, or the last record that was in the category installation, it went ahead and gave us a subtotal. And we'll go down and see what we have for painting. So at the end of the last record in the category painting, it gave us a painting row, or a painting total directly underneath. So you get a separate row and you get the sum on the appraisal value. And the same thing for the sculpture and the textile. And then by having that last option selected in the subtotal dialog box, we also have a grand total as well. So let's say, for example, I have this table that is set up like a record or database with a header row and records. I've done the sorting on the two categories. I've made sure that I've sorted on one category and within on another. I've went ahead and converted it to a range and then used the subtotal feature. And now let's say that I'd like to create a chart with this. What we can do on the left hand side, you have your various outlines. We can collapse certain parts of it. So if I click on number 2, what I've done is I've collapsed all the individual records, and I just see where the categories are totaled. And now what I can do is I can actually create a chart. So if I wanted to create a pie chart, I can go ahead and do so. Let me press the escape key. It helps to select your information. So I'm just holding the control key down as I select the appraised value. So then you can go ahead and create your pie chart and then create any additional information that you need to. So this is a real nice feature to have with Excel, where you can take that information, lay it out in a record, do your sorting, and then create some more information from it as well, such as a pie chart. And that is working with tables and also doing your data sort.